you worked at the program, portfolio, or executive level on any software project, you know that defining what is capital expense or CapEx expense and what is operating expense or OpEx is a big issue for your finance team. Operational expenses, or OpEx, are usually considered expensive and have a huge effect on how much profit you show in the quarter. CapEx are cheaper because they can be spread out over a number of years. It used to be easy in the days of waterfall. Discovery and design were preparing for development and were operational expenses. Development and deployment of the software was a capital expense because the teams were releasing a new asset to the market that could be depreciated over a defined set of years. In waterfall, there were stage gate meetings to memorialize when one phase was over and the next phase began. But in Agile, those phases are mostly gone. We're discovering, designing, developing, testing, maintaining, deploying, and pretty much everything else all at once. There's lots of plates spinning. So what is finance to do? At worst, they usually slap their heads and grimace that Agile sucks. Then they sometimes announce that all sprints before deployment are just mucking around, getting ready for deployment, and hence our OpEx. In my experience, unlike what finance thinks, working in Agile actually clarifies expenses better than waterfall ever could. Here's my recommendation for all of the parties. Set up a session or sessions to help finance and accounting get up to speed on Agile. A 1-hour meeting about your OpEx and CapEx approach can create a simple checklist for your Scrum Master to get started. If you're working on a story, have your Scrum Master decide if it's OpEx or CapEx. Then agree on a set of meetings to work together with your finance and operations team to review that long list, spit it out from Jira, and look at it and see if they agree that it's OpEx and CapEx, and you can refine over time. Though Agile changes the process of discovering OpEx and CapEx, the definition of OpEx and CapEx doesn't change. OpEx are funds an organization uses to run its day-to-day business. Lots of OpEx can be desired for young, non-public companies who have a lot of startup costs and don't want to pay any taxes, frankly. Operational expenses usually include training, overhead, executive costs, rent, spikes, design, any architectural reviews, prototypes, vacations, even translations to new languages or localizations. And in some companies, any new software deployed to the cloud is automatically considered OpEx, but I'm not sure if I agree with that. CapEx, on the other hand, is considered any work that will go in service, providing real, traceable value to your customers. That's even if you're putting it on a shelf for future release. At some point, the assumption is it's going to go in service. Don't overthink how to count this up every sprint or every increment. I recommend just counting stories. Then apply the percent of the team's time that's applied to OpEx versus CapEx and put it against your total burn. And then again, review this with your finance team every sprint or every quarter. In Agile, we strive to focus on the stuff that will bring value to your customers, not on philosophical discussions about what's OpEx and what's CapEx. Our customers, frankly, don't care. But based on the information contained in each user story, we have really good evidence of what is OpEx work and which is CapEx work. Provide this documentation to your finance team. Believe me, they'll appreciate it.